Well, Samuel Ramani is a researcher at St. Antony's College at the University of Oxford. He joins us now for more. Thanks so much for speaking to us. You know, politicians always make promises to improve economic growth. Sometimes they deliver, but in Afghanistan, with so much attention being paid to security and, complaints of corruption, have leaders kind of been allowed to let the economy fall by the wayside?
I think that in 2014, the economy was probably the most important issue, and Ashraf Ghani ran and won in part on trying to improve the situation. But looking forward 5 years later, the situation is very bleak. The unemployment rate in Afghanistan, which was 35% when he took over, is now in excess of 40%. And it's difficult to measure how much the informal economy has also been damaged. Economic concerns are probably most concentrated on areas where the informal economy is strongest, like near the Iran border. But in the rest of the country, security concerns are likely prevailing. The only area of good news economically is the fact that the currency has finally stabilized against the US dollar after a prolonged period of severe devaluation.
Okay, will that be enough, or at least something to possibly gain some investor confidence if this election goes well or smoothly as well?
I think that the expectations in Afghanistan right now are extremely low for the election. There's a lot of concerns about the Taliban potentially attacking polling stations, and there's a lot of concerns in general that the loser of the elections, if it is Abdullah, will not necessarily concede defeat, and his supporters could potentially launch unrest or take up arms or an issue of that sort. So if that does not occur, the worst doomsday scenario does not happen, then I think that investor confidence could improve slightly. But I can't really see this being anything less than a messy and possibly violent process.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Do peace talks with the Taliban actually help Afghanistan build some confidence, or do they better cast an ominous kind of cloud over Afghanistan and its economy, knowing that an extremist group may assume some political control in the near future?
That's an interesting question. I think that certainly the call for peace talks is useful because it shows that there's at least a desire to promote stability. And as nefarious as the Taliban may be, at least it's better to have them operating within the political process, like other non-state actors are doing in the region, like Hezbollah, for example, than to have them outside launching terror attacks. Of course, peace talks between the U.S. and the Taliban and Afghanistan's government won't necessarily improve the entire security situation. ISIS is still a major threat and has been growing over the past 4 years. But I think a settlement of any sort or any kind of progress towards intra-Afghan dialogue in which the Taliban is willing to talk to the legitimate government would be seen as a sign steps are moving forward. So Ghani is pursuing these talks in part to improve the security situation and also to bolster Afghanistan's economic interests.
Okay. Samuel Ramani, thank you so much for joining us there from Oxford. We appreciate it.